So you will find in China financial statements, in the P&L, there are three broad categories that define the expenses. In a sense, some of our managers, they think that it does not provide enough details. Another of the peculiarities in China is the foreign exchange restrictions that there exist. For example, if you want to make an overseas payment over $50,000, you need to go physically to the bank and show the tax receipt before the payment can actually go through. Another aspect is very few banks are actually subscribed to the CIPS channel, which is the China's hybrid net settlement system that allows RMB settlements. So as anywhere else in the world, you need to make sure that all the transactions going through the bank account, they are well documented. So in that sense, you can make sure that your financial statements are reliable and then your financial analysis is accurate. Most of the managers, they make decisions on reliable data. So the best three tips that I could give you about cash management in China are, for those who are not familiar with China operations, first of all is to understand that the Fapiao is the only official invoice in China that can actually recognize revenue and expenses. So every time that you issue a Fapiao to a client, independently if there is a monetary transaction, you need to declare and pay that output VAT, so that you will have a cash outflow before your cash inflow. Another aspect would be there is a time lag actually, since you can deduct this input VAT on your expenses because it has to be verified by the tax authority. Another aspect is that not all expenses in China are actually tax deductible. Only the special VAT Fapiao is VAT deductible. Any other is not. And also there are limitations on the entertainment expenses which are limited to a certain amount of your sales revenue. The second advice that I will give you is to understand the peculiarities of the accounting, taxation, and regulatory framework in China, as well as the industry norms, because you might need it to manage your credit limits over your accounts receivables and payables in order to plan working capital actions. The third advice that I could give you is to understand that China banking is changing, it's becoming more sophisticated and technologically advanced, and now they have a full range of credit and non-credit services to manage your cash management, for example, the use of the bank proprietary system, also to set up a domestic cash pool or cross-border, or even to implement automatic debiting to your clients.